Did you paint your shades, or was that behind you?
A couple of years ago, Emily was bored and we were home. She was home from school during the Summer Olympics, and I just said, "Do paint things."
Dang.
So she painted that.
Nice.
Dang. I didn't know those shirts came in pink, Kev.
Yeah, did I ever tell you the story?
Mm-mm.
Kit, maybe about like 2 years ago, Kit told me, it was like right after she started preschool. You know, we had her insulated up until then. And she was at preschool for maybe about like 3 or 4 months. And she said, boys don't wear pink. And I was like, why do you think that? And she said, a boy told her boys don't wear pink. So I ordered this Black Flag and I ordered a Slayer one. And I was like, oh, boys wear pink.
Ah,
You know,
love it.
Good parenting there.
I remember doing that.
Parenting.
I remember doing that with Finn. And we walked up to my closet and I showed him my pink section.
yeah.
And that was that.
That's awesome.
The only boys who don't wear pink are boys who are like falls.
There are also boys that don't
Spring.
eat quiche. Quiche is awesome.
Right.
Is that, I'm so done with all these tropes and memes.
Oh,
Honestly.
it's so silly. It's it's obviously absurd. Just
Is that really a thing? I've never heard boys don't eat quiche.
You've never heard real men don't eat quiche?
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
That was like a bumper sticker before memes.
Yeah.
That was like a bumper sticker or a T-shirt.
Okay. Oh, the original meme. That's right.
At least in like San Francisco, like I remember seeing that, and I'd be like, I love quiche.
Yeah.
I don't get like quiche is the most delicious concoction you could possibly create.
Yeah.
It was probably a gay slur.
Maybe
I
so.
think
Is the quiche like a representative of like it's like a female genitalia or a male genitalia? Is it like quiche?
Real men don't eat.
Either way, I'm eating it.
This is Steve with the Punch Out Podcast. With me on this episode are Ian O'Shea,
Hey, Steve.
Jessie Preisendorfer,
Hey, Steve.
Kevin Regan,
Hey, Steve.
and our storyteller is Karen Getz. Karen, welcome.
Huzzah.
Lovely
Hey,
to
Steve.
see you.
Hey. Hi. So what? What?
You
start
started.
Pressure's on already?
Yeah.
Our storyteller now. Entertain us, Karen Getz. I haven't told the story in a really long time. So I probably am lying for half of it because, memory.
Well, you're really tapping into Ian tonight. Ooh,
Yeah.
right to his heartstrings.
That's because I miss you guys so much.
love
So when I got out of college, right, I graduated from college and then I immediately had a panic attack and stayed in the house, like a real anxiety, like 3 months in the house because I had no idea.
Mushrooms.
If only. No, I was just like frozen. I went back to parents in Queens and I was like, okay, I have a degree in theater and dance. I have a degree in acting and dance. I'm in New York City, free room and board. And now what do I do?
Yeah.
Where was this, Karen? Was this NYU?
No, I went to State University of New York at Binghamton.
I love it.
It's a school where it used to be that all the kids who went to Binghamton had a huge chip on their shoulder. Like, I could have gone to Ivy League if I could have afforded, well, we didn't talk like that. It would be like, I could have gone to an Ivy League school if my parents could have afforded to send me to one, but because I come from Queens and they have no money and it's pretty blue collar, I'm going to the best state university.
I buy it.
Yeah.
Which is where I went to study, and I studied and I started to major in creative writing and English because I thought I always knew I was gonna do theater, and I always knew I was gonna be a movie star, whatever. But I always thought, I have a side gig as like a Pulitzer Prize winning author or something.
Yeah. The best at everything, but, they're side gigs.
The side gigs, and besides, like my brother went to Binghamton too, and he is a writer, and he majored in creative writing, and I was like, oh, I'll do that. So I did that for 6 months. But I immediately auditioned for a play and immediately was just sucked into the theater department. So I was there, and I got a degree.
You were a theater kid? Huh.
Tell surprise. Yes, I was
Please.
me, shy, retiring, stoic Karen. So mercurial. So I'm in the theater department, and I got a degree in acting and dance. And and like I had to do, things like the Shakespeare, did all that stuff. Actually I have a voice teacher who probably is like retired very soon after I went to that school, my roommate and I, because she tried to get us to speak English. And so like we came in doing Shakespeare and it was like, alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly. It was a ride, and anyway, so I was very successful in the theater department there. And I got a lot of leads and, it was a big deal. And even our like senior year, we won the American Theater College Festival. We went to DC and we performed at the Kennedy Center.
Nice.
That's so exciting.
That's pretty cool.
It really is. It really is so exciting at that age, and like to be in that environment and like to win stuff as a a needy actor. As we all were, like I were like little things in Oregon, and like it just, that was so thrilling to be, and you're like, just to be acknowledged, like 100 folks or whatever it was. That's just so exciting to like do those things.
It really was. It was great, and it was an ensemble piece. And I was not the star of this at all. I was like a small part, but I got to wear character makeup, which I was very excited about. And the director had seen probably Nicholas Nickleby like 100 times. So it was an ensemble piece. We moved the set. We all played, something that became very, very popular afterwards. We did that. And oh my God. And even like before we won, we went to Allentown, and my boyfriend was the villain in the play. It was a melodrama, an Irish melodrama. And we had this great fight scene. Like he had gone to fight school with the guy playing the lead. And there were these incredible combat actors. And the bad guy was supposed to fall down this pit, my boyfriend, and then and be killed. But on opening night in the semifinals, the lead fell down the pit. And it was a 6-foot drop.
Ew.
And we were all like backstage going, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And
The lead!
he jumped up 6 fucking feet, grabbed the edge of the pit and pulled himself up. And so we kept it in the show. The adjudicators were there. They thought it was like planned. So yeah, County Center. So
That's why you had the lead. He's strong fingers.
Acting.
He's great. Jamie Cheatham, he teaches, he's like the chair of acting at a university somewhere in the Midwest that I should
I'll
know.
say.
But yeah, so I graduated school. So college was great. I loved college. And then I got home and I literally was so anxious. I couldn't leave the house. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I think, my parents are really good at psychology. They were like, just do something, get out of the house.
That was a popular psychology in that era.
Yeah.
So I would go to auditions. I just went to auditions for everything. And again, like I didn't know I had ADHD. I mean, how do you not know? But I didn't know. And
Because it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You were an artist,
right.
which was before ADHD.
Yeah, I was just that, Karen, you're going to sleep till 12 o'clock? You're going to sleep till 1 o'clock in the morning or afternoon? That was the thing. But anyway, I'm being my mother. She's not going to. So I went to an audition for everything. So I auditioned and I have a hard time.
Describe like, what, I mean, to find auditions, what did you have to do?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So
Just to
back
find them,
1,000 years ago,
right?
you got Backstage magazine. It's like a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And you went through all the non-equity and non-union calls and you showed up. And I would go to Shakespeare calls, dance calls. I mean, I'll conflate and put together all these different auditions together, but like, I got to audition for all my heroes. Like I got to audition for Bob Fosse and have him laugh at me when I like dance in the room. And he was like, you are this tall.
It's awesome.
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
okay.
To be fair, he probably had some bad coke that day.
Yeah. But when I did Shakespeare in the East Village when it was scary and not like gentrified like it is now. And I joined this company and we turned a church, a convent into a Shakespeare center, and that went on to be really cool. But the director had me playing all.
It was a convent, so you literally took to a nunnery.
I took myself.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, it was just chaos, right? It was just just melee, just like it was just craziness.
You mean it was the alphabet? It was Alphabet City. It was.
Yeah.
One of my best memories, are not best, but scariest memories, was walking down and seeing a guy with a stiletto knife strapped to his thigh, the length of his thigh.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I was like, I just did everything. So I did that. I played an actual rock in a rock musical, a children's rock musical.
I can see that. You're very talented.
Was that hard on your back, playing a rock?
I was an asteroid, and so I got to I got to orbit a lot.
I get it.
There was some movement.
Some movement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I just went to every audition possible, and actually I should say I did get cast right away because my brother was writing plays then, and his play was being produced at the Bowery Lane Theater, which is in the East Village, and it was on a co-bill with another play, and I got cast in the other play, where I was directed. It was a 2-person play, and I was directed with my back towards the audience the entire time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's what I did. And I went to dance class. So the thing is that you do, like, as a dancer, you get up and you go to take a 10 o'clock ballet class, and then you get into like maybe a dance company or studio, you get on scholarship, and you dance all day in between auditions. So I was doing that too. And
at this point, was there like dancing in the street or like at cafeterias or lunch halls, like in Fame? Like, did people just break into, everybody just knew the dance number and were like, I want cottage cheese?
So what was New York City in the 80s?
Yeah.
So yes, the answer is yes. A lot of cocaine. That's exactly what was happening, Ian.
And also a lot of stepping over homeless people. Or,
ooh, you're disgusting.
no, I mean, never would do that unless they were like trying to grab me, or like, New York was a much different place in the early 80s. So I graduated in 1984, like a year after MTV. I mean, I'm a very old person. And I would actually go to Macy's. The children's shoe department would play on their VHS, which was really high tech then. I would go watch Star Wars every day.
Oh, cool.
For free. Cool. Anyway, and I'm dancing like on 7th Avenue in the Garment District. There's a dance studio there, and I'm like trying to do the thing. And I go to an audition for summer stock, and what they do is they have all the auditions for like all the regional summer stocks.
One big audition in New York City?
So I got called back for a bunch of different ones, and it came down to me choosing between playing the lead at Dames at Sea with a company that I knew was mostly queer women, and they were awesome, or going to a company that I didn't really know much about, and I didn't really know, like there were some ideas that maybe I would get to do this part or that part, but I knew it was mostly like lots of guys, and I was really trying hard to break up with my boyfriend without actually breaking up with my boyfriend. So I basically wanted to go away for summer and have an affair and like get rid of that relationship and do that.
So you went with the queer company.
Right. So I didn't. I went with the Bucks County Playhouse Company.
Oh.
Which back then was not union. And it was like in this transition, and like later on the story is like they all burnt down, like there was all this graft and like criminality, but at this point you would go, I was a non-union gig, and they owned 3 playhouses, so you would rehearse a play at Bucks, then you'd go to Falmouth Playhouse in New England and you'd open the show, and you go to, or you'd open in Bucks and you go to Falmouth for a week, and then you'd go to the Pocono Playhouse. All these places were terrifying. Like,
Beth, do you see any of these shows?
Yep. Well, I saw a lot of stuff at Pocono Playhouse. Yeah.
Did you really?
After I was grown, after I was out of school, we saw.
Out of high school?
Out of college.
Oh.
Because we didn't spend any money to go anywhere when I was.
Oh my God! If it turns out that you've seen a show,
you must have seen Karen.
You
would have seen Karen. What was the play you were in at one of the plays at the Pocono Playhouse?
So I show up, like, talk to them, and apparently I went to the wrong company. I was supposed to be in the red company, which was doing like all the dance shows, but for some reason I showed up at the blue company, which was doing like the more actor heavy shows. And so, and this is laughable because actor heavy, but it was Barnum, Sound of Music, and Oliver.
I feel like Karen might actually be Alice in Wonderland.
Pourquoi?
You thought you were in one program, but you were in a different one. But then you did shows with these people, and then you just like it's just. And you just have this beautiful way about you where whatever happens, flowers sprout.
Yeah, it'll work.
Like just wherever you go, there's a trail of flowers behind you, and you're like, oh, okay.
This is where I am now.
Yeah.
Alice is my favorite. I was thinking the other night about like 5 Desert Island books, and Alice is my #1 book always. So,
Ding, 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 ding.
Ian and I are totally connected tonight.
Not yet, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
So I show up at this company, and they're doing Barnum, and I don't know. I learned how to juggle. I learned how to balance on a ball, whatever. But really, my goal is to get laid and to have like hot sex, like, and to just have fun. And like the accommodations are terrifying. Like in Pocono Playhouse, it was just like it was the hot spot for toxoplasmosis. Like, do you know what? Yes. There were so many feral cats, like everywhere in the housing accommodations. The
Like
place,
actual feral cat. That's not an analogy.
No.
Real thing.
Ugh.
Started by cats.
Yeah.
to control people.
Gross.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's what they do.
Gross.
And the company is like, there's some real professionals, but it's rinky dink, right? Because we're rehearsing like 12 hours a day, and then we get a.
Every once in a while, when recording an episode, technology fails us, and unfortunately, in this episode, that happened. So, what I'd love to do is bring back in Miss Karen Getz and Mr. Steve Roney, and we will just very quickly recap the portion of the episode that we missed.
I believe it was the portion about the pool game.
Yeah, I stopped with like, I think the last thing I said in that was before we lost you, Kevin, there was I said these things were like, there were professionals in this company, but it was a very rinky dink operation. There was like no money. We were basically put up in housing that we were young, so very few of us got sick very often, but like there were no sanitary considerations, and we were staying at these very old like inns attached to the theater. One of my main intentions of taking this particular summer stock job back in Queens, one of these my particular intents was taking this job was to have an affair and to like have sex with other people besides this boyfriend who I was really nice, but I didn't want to continue with. And
it's a great way to end it. Just have
so mature. I was such an enlightened person. I was such an asshole.
Right.
And so I was like, yeah, I got to go away to Simmerstock and have an affair. So I chose this company because it had a lot of guys in it, and it actually looked like it was the company that had more straight guys, just from like a random sampling because they're doing.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, yes. As it turns out, I wasn't even supposed to be in this company when I showed up to the first day, but they took me anyway. So
was there a common like rec room or something? Like where did the pool table?
So the pool thing happened in I'm 90% sure that it happened at
way better than any percentage that Ian has ever been certain in.
Yes.
This is like concrete for him.
Time streams are really fluid for Ian. Like he's okay with whichever one bleeds over to whichever one he adjusts. So I understand. With this setup, which it had like this bar with so many quotation marks around it, and it was like it never passed a any health code. I think it had like food and drinks, and it had a pool room, and had like a pool table. I think the pool table was like okay, but anyway, so there's this guy that he pursued me. I wasn't interested in him, and then I was like drunk and drinking shots of Jack Daniels, and I said to him, all right, well, if you beat me at pool, you can have me. And so so I lost.
Awesome.
At pool.
And that's exactly where the story picks up right there, because I know Ian says, who won?
He did.
Excellent. Moving on.
Yeah.
So we start this extremely hot affair, and it's fantastic.
Was he Greek by any chance?
Italian.
Same thing.
But Barnum was Greek.
Right next to each other, Ian.
I mean, well, yeah, and I don't mean there's no mean like just a very sensual people. I mean, they're very, you know.
Yes.
Great pool players.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like a real bet. Like it was, you could have thrown the game if you were playing terribly. You could have made it happen.
Oh yeah, no, there was no, and I was definitely drunk, and I was like, oh yeah, I am sleeping with this man tonight. Like that is happening.
Regardless, if you had won that game of pool, you would have said, "I win, I take you."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he would have been fine with that.
I can vouch for him in the past tense. Yes, that would have worked.
So we're having this mad hot affair. He has a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, right? So that's like hotter too, whatever. It's ridiculous. And, you know, it's all just
20s, 22, 20.
I was young, I'm always like a year behind everybody in school because I was a December baby. But so yeah, I was probably just 22 or I just turned 23.
Yeah. Doesn't excuse you being an asshole to your boyfriend, but we were all assholes to our boyfriends and girlfriends.
You know, I blame the patriarchy and these artificial constructs of proprietary relationships and the whole bullshit of like monogamy.
You did bet your body.
Yeah, but it was totally in my control.
Fair enough.
It's her body to bet. She can bet it if she wants.
And I'm a product of this neurotic, you know, construct that my brain is in. I can't really escape how I was raised. I'm hoping that I did a better job with my child. Anyway, so we're having this like hot, fun affair, and he's definitely a dick, like hitting on other women immediately. But I like, we're shacking up together, and we're in a company where we're about to do Oliver, and then we're gonna do The Sound of Music. So the children are coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So
To perform
in the company, we're getting the children. And one thing about this guy, many things, but this guy is, you know, a good person at heart, right? So like just a dick about women at that time and later on for sure that had nothing, and all kinds of great things I found out about him later. Wish I'd known then. And not that he's gay, although that was an interesting, yes, whatever. So I'm about
I like that Karen looks and there's like these tentacle and she's like, do I follow this one? It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yep.
Which door would you like to open? And Ian's like, which one has sex?
She's actually whiteboarding her own story.
And it's a problem because I just hit this crossroads where I realized the whole story about how I got Artful Dodger is a story in of itself that I'll try to make very brief, which is,
Love it.
I know it's hard because you guys met me at a certain point in my life when I was already an adult, but I'm innately a very earnest person. I mean, ironic, but like I don't do subtlety real well, and I tend to be a little bit ahead, slower thinking people. Also, I'm a really hard worker when it comes to theater. Like the living conditions were terrible. Never did I complain, except like in a fun way, because I was doing theater. Like
Right.
I was fucking ahead, and I'm like hanging lights during the day and rehearsing all day and performing every night. And I'm having great sex. Like
A little D on the side. Did you make some money? Were you getting paid?
Like $300 a week to go spend on ice cream in New Hope, you know?
Whatever the fuck you wanted.
So the next show, like there's a new director for each show. I forgot who our director for Barnum was. I'm sure they were wonderful. Who remembers? Opening night of Barnum, like the scrim got caught and there was a flame at it, and like the opening the second act and the whole company's behind the scrim singing like the song. It's a choral song, and the scrim catches on fire. It's just like another night. So the new director comes in and we're gonna do Oliver, and I audition, or I don't get I thought I was in the company because I thought that I was going to be Artful Dodger, which is like the role I always wanted to play. And I knew, like, you know, I spent my entire college career, when I wasn't playing a whore, I was playing some gamine, you know, adorable whores, you know, like Sally Bowles kind of whores. But
my favorite whores.
Right. So
Top 10 whores of all time.
And the first role I ever did in college was Girl in Hot L. If you guys know the play, she's this innocent whore in this comedy by Lanford Wilson. I was obsessed with trains. Anyway, so I figure I'm gonna play the gamine. Like, I have short hair. and I'm a dancer, and I'm an actor, and I can do a Cockney dialect like nobody's business. But I don't get cast. And so I earnestly and sincerely asked the director, I go, it's totally fine. May I understudy? Because I really want to learn the part. I've always wanted to play the part. And she's like, sure.
And you're like, and I'm not afraid to take another actor out.
That's right.
I swear on my own soul, that was not my intention. I swear to you. No, and honestly, like I said, I preface this, like I am less, what is it? What's the word I always get accused of with an M besides Machiavellian? You know, mercenary.
Yeah.
What was it?
A mercenary.
Mercenary.
Ah,
I can be
you forgot
mercenary.
that you were always accused of being a mercenary?
She's like her own A-team. She's a one-person A-team.
I thought you were going to be the Tanya Harding of the story.
Its story's not over yet.
Yeah.
I think this is going that way.
Thank you for saying that name. I've been thinking that name the whole time. I was just like, I can't.
Big part for Tanya.
Karen's already set up the preface of a flammable scrim, so she's already got it in her mind that shit burns.
She's already
So many things
put
happen.
it all together in her mind.
Indeed does burn.
So the first day of rehearsal starts, and I do honestly, like my intent was just to learn the part because I'm happy. Like I was the kid in college who stayed understudied other roles. Like I love theater. This is what I've done my whole life. I've never done anything else.
Can I ask you a question, Karen? You didn't get cast in Oliver, but you offered to be an understudy. Are you still getting paid?
Yeah. Oh, I was in Oliver as like a street urchin or something.
Got it.
Like
Okay.
we all got paid the same. Like nobody. This is non-union. Like we all got whatever ridiculous pay it was.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
You said I want more. I want to learn that role. I want to soak it all up. Who wouldn't want to?
Why not?
That person in their cast. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and the director also doesn't want to be bothered. It's just like,
She was the Dennis Rodman. She was the Dennis Rodman of the crew.
she doesn't really get to know the company. She gets the company that was given to her.
Right.
So, now as an adult who's cast scores of shows, like that's kind of a nightmare in of itself. You get what the producer tells you. And so what was cast was this young man who was one of the producer's darlings. They were like very theater kiddie, very musical theater kids who were like always the leads in everything, who were very jazz hands and like had very performative kind of, bad theater habits and vocal habits and acting habits.
We've all seen that show.
Exactly. He was Tom Thumb and Barnum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Little effete for Dodger.
mm-hmm.
So I had definitely bigger balls than he did, for sure. And and the director's also like me, she's a director choreographer. So like I get up and I just get behind him, and within 10 minutes, the rehearsal stops. He is recast and I am Dodger.
Wow. Didn't you
Just like
say? Didn't you say at the beginning of the story that usually you're almost fired on day one? That's like a bump. You got like a promotion on day one.
Well, I'm always like, it used to be that I also was always hired by everybody because like I'm a great cold read and I don't get nervous at auditions.
Yeah.
I love them because I've always, even before I had formal improv comedy training, I'm an improviser. Always have been, and I love it. And also I used to be really close to photographic and in terms of my memory.
Yeah.
Like I could look at a script once and not have to look at it again.
Do you feel like in auditions directors would be like, oh yeah, I can tame her. And then like 9 minutes in, they're like, I can't do this. It's her show.
Kevin, that is so much deeper than you have any idea. Like that is not this story, but
That's
that
every
is
other
the
one.
story of my life.
But wait a second. I don't want to skip over this. This is quite literally the actor's dream.
Oh yeah.
The idea that you would be sort of behind the scenes, but you were prepared and ready and working harder and focused, and you were spotted. And somebody said, "That kid, who's that?" No, fuck you. You're fired.
Is that how it went down?
It was nicely done, but yeah.
That is why you think every time you step on stage, you think you're better than everybody else, and we're all lovey-dovey, and it's fantastic. But the idea that she lived the story, the dream, that you were picked out, and you were said, nope.
Every single person on this podcast has been on stage with Ian, and we all know how Ian feels about every single one of us now.
I'm the best. I really like.
I don't know what to say. I'm just very happy for Karen that she lived that.
It's awesome.
It was fantastic, and I got accused of setting it up, but I didn't set it up.
Of course not. I'm just saying that's a very real actor's dream, that you will be plucked from obscurity to put center stage.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
I used to just think, I mean, when I was young, I used to just assume that people would see me and they'd understand that I am me. I honestly think it's because I'm so quick in my head, like my brain. Because I am a certain kind of smart, that I stand out because I'm already not worried about other stuff.
Karen, we don't need, we've gone too far. You're an undeniable force. Take it or leave it.
That relates more to Kevin's thing too, and me being an actual weather system that comes in. We could talk about that's when we do when you guys want to do deep psychology punch up.
I mean that in the best way. I just mean you take it or leave it. This guy was like, nope, I was wrong. That's the person. Let's do this. It's not malice. It's just like, whoops, we made a mistake. She's up front. You're out back. Take care. Good luck, everybody. Here we go.
So that is what happened, and I wound up kind of betraying her a little bit. This fantastic director, a little bit, because of the throes of sexual congress and the incredible compellingness of my sexual whatever drug that I was under. But so I get Dodger, and I do a fantastic job, and it's great. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how happy I am. I've got this amazing costume, and it's a dream role. I get to dance and sing, and the paramour is playing Bill Sykes.
Oh.
What do those words mean that you just said?
So my lover at the time is cast as the villain in the play. He's cast as Bill Sykes.
Thanks for asking, Steve.
Yeah. Now for the lay person.
Who said paramour? Paramour, is that a person who works in a legal office?
No, it's a TV channel, I think, isn't it?
It probably is.
HBO Max?
Yeah, Paramore HBO Max, that's what it is.
My bad. Yep.
It's all Outlander all the time.
Ooh.
Oh my God, so much male parts.
Ooh.
So nice. Anyway, I'm doing the show. So the kids in our company who we've kind of taken on sort of parental roles, because like I said, this guy's an asshole in a lot of ways, but he loves children, and he's a good guy, which only, made my pheromones just crazier, because he was great with kids. Very tall guy. Attractive. So anyway, I'm just thinking about it. It was a pleasant part of the summer. So, but the kids would witness Bill Sykes and Artful Dodger making out backstage all the time. So, or
how good was he with kids?
He's a good guy. He would never do anything. He was just a good guy on that account. But we would where can you have sex? Do you have sex in the coffin, backstage, right?
Of course.
In the booth, where can you do it and not get caught by the kids? So we do Artful Dodger, and we do Oliver, and we do it at Bucks, and we do it at Falmouth, and we do it at Pocono Playhouse, and then we go into rehearsal for the next play, which is The Sound of Music.
Wait, I'm sorry. These are all the places you had sex?
For sure.
Yes.
Everywhere.
It just so happens the play was also there?
Right, and also the visits to the local doctor, because who doesn't get cystitis when you're
hey now.
Sex?
Hey now.
Hey,
Yeah.
not to interrupt Ian's glasses, but Karen, so you hit these places 3 times. So you would go from to Massachusetts, back to Pennsylvania, to Massachusetts for every one of the shows.
We're talking about the play yet? Right. I'm working a joke in here.
You got it. Keep working it.
It's really good, Steve. It was really good.
Thank you, Karen. I knew it.
So the next director comes in because the next show is Sound of Music, and I'm like, what are they gonna do with me? I'm an alto. I was a second. Like I have a decent second, like more than decent voice. Like I have a really high belt. So I was a good second, and but an alto, better an alto, and what do you do in Sound of Music? I'm not playing one of the kids. They have actual kids, so I'm very curious as to what I'm gonna be. And this pretty famous guy, like Broadway guy, comes up. The guy who was in Torch Song Trilogy, who took over for Harvey.
No shit.
Yeah, so he comes up to direct Phil Baster. I hope he's still alive. I love him so much. And of course, he immediately starts calling me Sister Tatanu because he sees me as Artful Dodger and he's going to cast me as a nun. This is where I'm leading in this story.
There's a lot of nuns in that show, right?
I am Sister Bert.
Early on.
Sister Bert's the second soprano. She sings, she climbs a tree and scrapes her knee. Her dress has got a tear. She's pretty down on Maria. She doesn't want Maria to be a nun. She's got some opinions about Maria not really being a good nun.
I know those nuns.
Well, right. I was like, today I was thinking, oh my God, there isn't a Jew among these people on this podcast. There's a lot of Catholics and there's Jess.
I'm Jew adjacent, so.
You are so Jew adjacent.
Yeah.
And you all do comedy, so you're all part of the tribe in that way, you know? So we're doing Sound of Music, and so not only I'm playing a nun, and my paramour is also, what is he playing? He's definitely playing a Nazi. And we all play party goers. So we would do things to the kids, like during the party scene, when they'd sing so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, we would turn up stage to watch them and we would destroy them. We'd like put lady fingers on our teeth and black our teeth out and just try to break them.
Break them. Nice.
And they were so, oh my God, most of them were so cute.
Yeah, kids don't break.
The kid who played Oliver was a bit of a fragile.
Say it.
Yeah, he would be upset if I grabbed his arm a lot, but other than that,
Say it.
so I was gonna say, so we're doing Sounds of Music and we open in Bucks, and I think this happened in Falmouth. So I think opening night I think this all happened the same night. So at one point in opening night, later on in the show, there's a bat that flies in during Climb Every Mountain, like gets in the mother.
Steve, that's right up your alley.
There we go.
Call Mary.
All these things happen, but at the beginning of the show, my paramour and I are in Falmouth Playhouse, which is like, all these playhouses are so cool on one level because they've all been occupied by some of the greatest American actors that have lived, right? And it's this history, you know, you have the Barrymores and all these places and Booths and, you know, Forrest, like all these famous people. And they're pictures from the 20s. So like there's the whole Cole Porter thing and it's so cool. We're in Falmouth and Falmouth is situated on the water, but like on a golf course. So Lover and I are like, we've got like an hour before curtain or, you know, before half hour.
And there's 18 holes out here. Let's use them.
At least let's hit the back 9.
Well, okay, no, but
No.
it was the AIDS epidemic had already started, and things were, you know, we were much more, we were safe then, safer. We weren't so safe, but anyway.
You already told us you were 23. We know what you were.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we were, I don't know, at the 11th hole.
Any? Really? Okay.
And you know, and then it's curtain, and we've got to run, and we're like, shit, it's half hour. So we run back, and I don't know if you guys all know the Sound of Music, how it opens.
You're in the first. You're in the first song.
Exactly, and it starts off with oh God, I'm going to sing. I wound up singing Monty Python instead of what it is, but it's a Latin chant.
It's the Lumberjack song.
Huh?
It's the Lumberjack.
It's the Lumberjack song. Yeah, it's Rex admirabilis et triumphator nobilis dolce do, and we're backstage, and so we're singing Latin, and we've got our Bibles. That's how it opens, and then we the curtain rises, and we're like coming out of prayers, out of whatever matins or whatever you sing first thing in the morning when you're a nun in Austria, and then we sing, you know, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Like, she's coming up, she's a novitiate. Are we going to make her a nun?
Yeah.
And I have run so fast to get into costume and get ready. I'm like vocalizing on the way, and I'm pulling my habit on, and I've got my rosary around my waist, and it's opening night up at Falmouth Playhouse, and all the producers are there, like all the big people are there, and we start singing this song.
This is summertime too, right, Karen?
Yeah, it's August, July.
It's like super humid in New England in the summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you wear the nun outfit to the 11th hole?
No, this story wouldn't have happened if I had. It might have been a different story.
Okay.
Because we're singing our prayers, and as the curtain's rising, we're about to sing, and it strikes me that I am wearing no underwear. That is something that I've forgotten to put on.
It's back at the 11th hole?
I'm sorry, it's at the
Back
11th.
at the 11th hole? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know you guys know me from improv, and you know that when I'm not connected, I totally can break. If I'm not like in character, like you can break me pretty easily. But once I'm in character, you can't get me anywhere. Like, but I was in that place in between where I was like, oh God, and I'm about to sing, and it all strikes me. I'm like, I'm this Jewish girl from Queens. I'm not wearing underwear.
Dressed as a nun.
I'm a nun, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I have an existential crisis where I just start laughing, like, what the hell?
Oh no.
Why is my life, like, my life has no meaning. This is absurd.
This can't make sense.
Can't sing this song. I'm hysterical. I'm like, she climbs a tree and gets in here, just got a tan. Like that.
You just went down like a penniless like wormhole.
So I almost got fired.
Almost.
Almost.
I had these amazing reviews from the previous show. I was a little bit of like I was like the lowest end rock star you could possibly fucking be.
You couldn't pull it back. You couldn't get yourself back. You couldn't pull it together. You just like.
The only time I've ever broken like that ever again was like something that Doherty did. I don't even remember what it was, but something that only Kevin Doherty could make me do that ever again. He would just have to say one thing to me, and he could just make me like out of body, forget my focus, like just break me. But yeah, no, I had a nervous breakdown, like right there on stage.
Was that opening night?
It was opening night at Falmouth Playhouse.
Did you get pulled off, or did the show have to stop, or did you just like pull yourself away?
No.
No, the other women were all serious singers. So like, you know, I'd say dancer, like actor, dancer first.
We're also having sex with your boyfriend. No.
Not at that point.
Not yet. Okay.
They were like the 7th hole, the 3rd hole, maybe the 15th. Different holes, Ian.